there's 2.5 billion people in the world who do not have what you and I take for granted, a bank account, an identity, a card, things that you think just work. You just go online and you want to order food from Kim Cow or from anybody, and it comes. Well, it doesn't work that way for these people. And so their lives are different. And that's got to change, because non-inclusive growth will destroy the feeling that I'm talking about of prosperity and growth in the US as well. The US, by the way, has 40 million people who do not have a proper bank account, just to be clear. This is, again, not a developing world issue. Developed Europe has 93 million people who do not have a bank account. And so there is an enormous opportunity to get people an identity and the self-respect that an identity brings, and add that to electronic payments and take out the victimization that only the poor feel by not having that access. Cash is the friend of the rich man, not of the poor man. Because it's the rich man who uses cash to suit their needs, not pay the correct taxes in many countries, indulge in the kinds of things that only cash can provide you the chance to do. And that's a misconception that exists in society for a long time. So I'm a big believer that there's a huge runway in this industry of growth. And the question is, are you going to focus all your attention on the 15% or on the 85% as well as the 15? You don't pay attention to the 15, you don't get to fly out to places like this and speak to people like you. But if you don't pay attention to the 85, it won't be a great company 10 years from now. And that's the simplicity of our vision. Our vision is a world beyond cash. That's what I'm focused on. That's what the company's focused on. Every one of our employees, if you ask them, what's the strategy of this company? It is to get to a world beyond cash. And that's as simple as it is. Once you get that, how do you compete with everybody else? Well, I'm not sure they have the same perspective. So that gives me space to play. Hence the Nigeria example. South Africa, where your dean comes from originally, we've actually gone and given every South African who gets social security payments an identity with a card issued by the government with biometrics on it, where the money can be given to them every week without somebody getting in the middle. There's an estimate that 42% of the money that goes from a government to an individual through social programs gets stolen along the way, 42%. And the World Food Program loses 40% of the food that it takes from farmers here to distribute to refugees. You can change all that if you do it smart. So how do you compete in the 15%? There you compete with things like technology, which we're investing a great deal of money and effort on. You compete with data. You compete with a good differentiated product, differentiated analytics with consumers. That's how you compete in that. And that I'm comfortable competing in. It's the 85 that is a big opportunity.
So with that 85%, does that make you allies with your competitors in helping these 85% become banked?
Competitors that exist today, as well as new ones that are constantly being formed by young people like you who want to go and find a way to disintermediate us tomorrow, and that's a good thing. Because if you think about producing new technology, it's not just don't focus on the disintermediation. That's the 15% again. Think about the 85% that's in cash. There is an unbelievable opportunity in the world to get to revenue out of disintermediating cash, which to me is public enemy number one. And I'll tell you why I say that. People think cash is free. Cash actually costs between 0.5 and 1.5% of GDP for the central bank of a country to print it, to secure it, and to distribute it. This country has a GDP of 15 trillion. 1.5% of 15 trillion is a shitload of money.
Yes.
You could do a lot with that money, which we are not doing, right? So there's that. And then